Thanks to our residents for those thoughtful answers. And joining us now, we have a distinguished panel of senior people with us. I don't want to say older people. They are here to share some of their insights and thoughts on spirituality and the aging process. And we are so happy to have you all here with us today. And we just asked the folks there about their experience of God as they age. And I wondered if we could start off our conversation with that as well. What is your experience of God, and how has it changed for you as you've gotten to an older stage in your life?
Well, I think it's become more important to me. I've always had the grounding in the spirituality, but being retired, I think, has freed me up to want to do more with my life. And we're in a community where that's made possible. And it's more reaching out to helping others. You know, you have your grandkids and so forth in your family, but it gives you an opportunity to treat your neighbors as they like to be treated, and to give more. And I think it's freeing, and it gives me more time to think about God and to get Him more into my life. And my church life has shown that over the last 5 years.
Would you say so?
Yeah, that's a lot for me, is the more time.
Yeah,
You know, and you know, not being in a hurry to have to do something else. You know, you can let yourself meditate on God, and to allow time for God to come to you and to make Himself present to you.
Yeah.
I always thought through the years of experience that I've had as a Catholic that I was doing everything just right. I felt that, you know, I was going to church every Sunday, teaching my children to go to church every Sunday, serving as Eucharistic minister in our church. And when I retired, I realized that I was really missing the mark in a lot of situations. I found that there was a lot more that I could do. And so I found myself going to church every day. Now I had the time. We talk about time. I now had the privilege of time to be able to do just that. And receiving the Eucharist every day, hearing the gospel every day, has taught me to really be more like Christ, to try to achieve being more like Christ. And I feel that the host, the Eucharist, is the key. That in receiving the Eucharist, Jesus is becoming part of me, I'm becoming part of Him. And I think that's really a big change in my life.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of confirm what's been said. It's definitely having more time, and just being able to start the day. My husband and I try to have our morning prayer time each morning before we really start doing anything. And that really is wonderful, because if we don't get to morning mass, it's the readings of the day and meditations, and it sets the tone for the day. And also just being available to other people. You know, if the phone rings and somebody needs something, I don't have to say, oh, I have to go to work, or I have to go here, or I have to do this. I'm free. And it's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling, and you get so much more out of it.
You're going to be getting a lot more calls after this.
Well, that's all right. That's fine. That's fine.
We've talked about in this series too, Father Miles, too, about spiritual retirement as well. And did any of you sort of think about that as you were younger? Think about what it would be like for you spiritually, or if you had a plan for yourself when you got older with your spiritual life?
I didn't really have a plan, but when I first retired, I was so used to jumping up in the morning and moving on. So I thought, well, maybe if I go to Mass, that'll put a structure to my day. And so as a result, I basically go to Mass every day. And it becomes a community. If you're not there, they're calling you up to say, "What? Where are you? Are you okay?" So it's been a very nice experience. And I think, too, I'm more aware of my own mortality. I didn't think that much about it when I was younger. I was invincible. But now the years are going by, and I'm thinking, how much longer?
You're going to say something, Leslie?
I think for me, also in our relationship, my spirituality has intensified. We started out years ago with Marriage Encounter. And Marriage Encounter was a tool for me that not only did I fall in love again with my church, I fell in love with my wife again after 9 years of marriage, when we were like separated singles, doing all the whole thing and having the children. And then came along Crescio. And Crescio has, since 1973, has been one of the highlights of our lives. We're still very much involved with it. And then came along, all these things have intensified our relationship with Jesus. Then came along Lift Ministries, which we support financially and spiritually. And we were with them 10 years ago when they opened up the doors in Dedham High School. And it's just, and then that came along, and all these times we were work with the married couples, we worked with the RCIA program, and all this fit into going into retirement.
Yeah.
You know, we had, like when the chef has the proper recipe, and you know that recipe works, you stick with that. Yeah. And now we have, as Peg said, we do not go a day without praying together and praying for, we have a prayer jar this deep. Every day there's a new name in there.
That's great.
But we also minister people. We take them to the doctors, take them shopping. We do a lot of things that is wonderful that we couldn't do before when we were working.
Yeah.
And the joy of it sometimes is overwhelming. You know, we feel so blessed.
That's great.